So I'm going to start out by parting her hair. I will be using the brick method, which basically means that the parts are not going to line up. So you're either going to part before or after the previous part. And I made sure to moisturize her scalp really well. I used a mixture of oils. I will leave those down in the description bar, as well as some Lustrous Pink hair grease moisturizer. And I'm going to braid her hair from the root to about 3/4 of the way down. So as you can see, I did not braid her hair until the very end. I left some of it undone, and what I did was I just took some Freetress deep wave hair in 24 inches and I just connected it to the ending of the braid and continued to braid down to the ending of her hair. And I'm using a very thin piece of hair. You don't want to use a lot of hair because you want the lock to remain free when you start to wrap it. You don't want it to become like really stiff and heavy. And you don't want a thick piece of hair. You want a very thin piece of hair because you want it to look very natural when you get to the goddess part of it, because you're not going to wrap the full lock all the way down to the very end. You're going to leave some of that curly in. So you don't want it to be chunky and like really thick. You want it to be really thin and flowy. So I'm going to continue by parting, moisturizing, and braiding her hair 3/4 of the way down. And then once again, I'm going to add the Freetress deep wave in 24 inches at the ending of the hair, and then continue to braid down to the length of her hair. And then I will come back when it is time to wrap. So now I'm going to take some Marley hair, and I would have preferred to use Cuban Twist. In my opinion, that is the best Marley hair for faux locks. It's really thick. The one that we're using is by a brand I think called Bijoux, Bijous. I mean, it's okay, but it's a little bit too shiny for my liking. I like my locks to look really rusty, but I'm just making sure to separate the Marley hair, and then I'm going to crochet from the roots. I'm going to push the crochet needle through the top of the braid, and I'm just going to fold the hair at the top and attach it to the loop, you know, pull it through like I normally would. And then I'm going to bring some of that hair up just so that a little bit of it is hanging down next to her original braid. And then we're going to start to wrap that way. So I connected the braid and that little piece of hair, and I am just wrapping the hair. You want to make sure to go over the root, and that's why I didn't braid her actual hair really tight. I did it really loose, and because then when you start to wrap the hair, it really starts to get really taut and secure, so you don't have to worry about, you know, braiding it tightly. And I'm sorry it wasn't really in focus too much, but you know, I'm just overlapping and wrapping, making sure to cover the entire braid and that there's no braid peeking through. And this method I think is the best way because there is literally zero tension on the client's hair, or your own hair for that matter. There's no tension at all. and you get a lot more movement and freedom, and a lot more security as well, because you don't have to worry about the lock unraveling from the top. So you want to make sure that as you are wrapping, that you are pushing up that hair to make sure that it's really secure, and you're going to continue wrapping and pushing until you get to about 3/4 of the way down to the curly hair, because you want to leave some of that curly hair exposed. This is what's going to create that goddess effect. So now that I have wrapped enough towards the ending of the lock, I'm going to create 2 knots at the end where I want to leave that hair exposed, and then I'm going to, after creating 2 knots, I'm going to begin to wrap it upwards again, and then I'm going to create another 2 knots. As you can see me doing here, struggling. I'm making sure to pull it really tight. I'm going to create another knot again. And then I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut off that excess hair on the side, and also the excess Marley hair, and then all you'll have left is that that Freetress deep wave hair. And I'm going to take my lighter and I'm just going to lightly burn it and then do a palm roll, and that is going to seal everything together. So we're going to repeat the process on the remaining 2 braids. We're going to take the portion in between the top of the braid, attach the hair to the loop, and then we're going to pull it through. And as you guys can see, I do not believe in wasting hair. This is the excess hair that I have cut off from the previous lock, and I'm just using that to begin the lock. And once again, I am holding it taut at the root, and then I am just wrapping it downwards. And once again, there is no tension on her head, because, you know, we're not wrapping it over it the traditional way, if that makes sense. I don't know how to explain it. You guys already know the deal. But this way, there's just literally no tension. There's lots and lots of movement. So when you see that you have this little piece of hair left, we're going to take an additional piece of Marley hair. We're going to open up the ends, and then you're just going to continue wrapping down the hair as normal. If you need a more in-depth explanation, I will link my original 4 locks tutorial down in the description bar below, and you'll be able to get a real play-by-play of exactly what it is that I'm doing. And I'm just going to continue wrapping down until I am satisfied with the amount of hair that is left off to create that goddess effect. So I need everyone to understand that we look as tired as we do, because this was finished at 3:30 in the morning. We were exhausted. We started at around like maybe quarter to 6 or so, and we finished at 3:30 in the morning. So yeah, but she was very, very pleased with her hair. Off camera I did add some mousse to it. She had the shiver. She was like half asleep, y'all. So I'm using some oil sheen now just to add a little bit of moisture to her scalp, not really focusing too much on the locks itself because the hair that we use is already rather shiny. So just wanted to moisturize her scalp additionally, but she absolutely loved her hair. And I did use some alcohol-free mousse off camera just to help to minimize that sticking. And off camera I did clip the ends and dip them in hot water. And yeah, that's it. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will catch you guys next time. Bye.